So a doctor who treats children just said that biological men can give birth to children.
So this is interesting. So instead of telling my 2-year-old son, as I did, Zach, you can't have kids, you're a boy.
I think that's sad.
You think that's sad?
I do.
Saying that boys can get pregnant and give birth. And she's advocating for puberty blockers based on that belief. So this lady, I did some research, is Dr. Webley, who is the founder and lead medical director when it comes to Gender GP, which is gender affirming care for young kids. Gender GP has faced heavy scrutiny and a lot of controversy due to the mistreatment they have undergone when it comes to children. The age range of these kids that are going through this transition period under this current company are the age ranges of 6 to 18. Her medical license was actually suspended in 2017 due to misconduct when it comes to children, where she had received a lot of complaints, especially when it comes to trans youth patients. Since that her license was revoked, now she's shifted her course towards the United States, trying to set up in states such as Illinois, Minnesota, California, New York, and so on. So she basically goes into this interview very hostile. She's very uncomfortable from what it seems like. It seems like she doesn't even want to be there doing that interview. I don't know why she would do this interview in the first place with this guy, but this guy does not let up. This guy totally goes after her and asks some hard-hitting questions.
They're males. Why do you call them transgender males? Why put transgender in the...
Transgender is an adjective.
Right, but if they just call them males then, why do you call them transgender males?
No problem at all.
So you're changing that now?
No, I'm not changing that. You said, can males have babies? And I said, yes, males can have babies.
So the interviewer does a great job during this conversation where he brings up a great point where he discusses his own son. And his son actually has said to him saying, hey, Dad, I want to be able to have a baby. And the father does a good thing. And he says, no, son, you can't have babies because you're a boy. You can't do that. And the son goes, okay, cool. And Dr. Webley was very offended by that. She said that that's not right, that you're telling your son to that he cannot have a baby or he can have a baby. To which the interviewer does a great job where he says, well, the next day, my son also thought he was Spider-Man and he said he wanted to be Spider-Man. And he physically cannot be Spider-Man.
Do you know what it did? He said, oh, okay, Daddy, that's fine. And the next day he said, Daddy, I'm Spider-Man. Would you want me to entertain that conversation and say, well, Zach, maybe you are
What do you say? Oh, God, no, not Spider-Man. Oh, God, Zach, you can't be a girl. God, Zach, you can't be Spider-Man. Or can't we just let children explore? 2 is an amazing age to explore. Why aren't we letting our children explore? I actually feel sorry for Zach right now.
And what she essentially says in this video is that it is not your right of the parent to tell your children what they can identify as, which is totally nuts. And she gets very nasty in this interview, and she says that biological males can give birth to females.
So you think males can have babies?
Yes.
Right.
Do you want me to explain?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So transgender males have a womb, a uterus, and ovaries. Okay, so they were born, if you like, female, but they actually identify as males, so we refer to them as males.
So from what it seems like in this video that I watched, is that this lady is simply just taking advantage of these young children. When it comes to older adults, when it comes to people who want to transition later in their lives, after past the age of 18, that want to make that decision to have that life-changing surgery, they should have the right to do so. And I agree with that personally myself. But when it comes to children who are young kids that believe that they can fly and they can do whatever they want, she's simply just preying on the young minds of children. And she's clearly just a demonic, evil woman.
How much do you charge people for signing up to Gender GP?
So the subscription is $29, $29.99 per month.
Per month? Is there a one-time setup fee?
Yeah.
You still got that? How much is that?
I don't know, to be honest. I haven't seen that. I don't do the logistics of that bit.
Okay. I think it's £195 one-time fee.
I mean, the fact she's lost her medical license multiple times in the UK and now she's trying to set up shop in the United States of America, it's so bothersome to watch. Like this is clearly an evil person that is trying to take advantage of your children. She's trying to get there by making a profit. And when you ask her about those things, she gets very uncomfortable and she gets very angry. Of course she would, because she's clearly being called out on her lies. So this lady is giving puberty blockers to children before they go through puberty. She's profiteering off of it, and she simply attacks the parents when they bring up their concerns as to how this is a horrible idea and this is a life-changing thing for their children that there's no going back from. And a high percentage of children that go through this transition surgery, that don't have the ability to go back to their previous gender because what's done is done, they face a huge crisis when it comes to suicide. Their suicidal rate goes through the roof. This is a horrible human being. This is a horrible lady who is a doctor and, using that title to their advantage to basically profitize off of young children. So yeah, this is a horrible woman. This is a horrible human being. She's clearly taking advantage of young children and parents that think that they're doing the right thing, but they're actually ruining their children's lives. So yeah, man, like I think that if you're transgender, if you want to transition, when you get older, above the age 18, do what you feel that you want to do. I feel that you can do that, even though I think that, maybe you could do some therapy, to help yourself out. I think that's the best option for yourself, and, maybe talk to somebody and find a friend. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you haven't subscribed already, do so. And yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks.